Okay. Very warm welcome to Emertxe Masterclass webinar series. People who don't know me, I'm Jay Kumar. I'm part of Emertxe's leadership team. We've been running various type of webinars over the last couple of years, I would say. We run two type of webinars at a high level. One type of webinar, what we call as a course demo webinar, which we run every month, which is aimed for people who are interested in our course and who already kind of decided to take our course. So we give them a recent updates about job market, etc. And then clarify your queries. That me and myself and my colleague Mubin run it. So that's one part of it. Apart from that, we run this masterclass webinars. So masterclass webinars, primarily we invite expert speakers from the industry who are already working, and typically who have at least, let us say, a good amount of experience in whatever the technology that they're working in. And we have been running like a series, I would say, like an episode or what you call a web series. That's what you guys can relate much more easily. So first series we started where we had something called new technology series, where experts came and presented topics about the new technologies. We had topics like electric vehicle, big data, IoT, Linux, open source, blockchain, etc., etc. That was more of a given exposure to engineers who wanted to have a career in any of these domains. That was the first series that we ran. Then the second series was more of hands-on workshop, which was predominantly run by my colleague and our leadership team, Mr. Mubin. He was taking classes on GDP-based debugging, competitive programming, etc., etc. That was little short because he was also getting quite hectic with other responsibilities. In the meantime, we received a lot of requests from our existing student interns saying that, sir, we want to listen from our alumni, right? When we say something, how did they crack certain interview, how they are growing in the industry, right? And already questions have come, how would my salary would look like? How does this particular industry at an outside look like? Where are the new opportunities that are coming up? Should I be worried about recession? What should I focus, at this current given time? So tons of questions coming up, right? Even though from our side, students in Emertxe know we run Disha workshop and we try to clarify as many questions as possible. It's always fun and it's always exciting to hear from our alumni. So that's why we're starting our third season today, or a third series today, which we call Alumni series, where we are going to call alumni who are already who studied with us. They were Emertxe students at some point in time, and then they started working and they grew quite well in their careers. And they're also interviewing our current Emertxe students, and then they're going to share their experience on that, right? So that way we are kickstarting this third series today, and today is going to be the first webinar in this particular series. And then we had two amazing panel members. So let me run few slides about Emertxe if you don't know, and then I quickly introduce our speakers, and then I leave, right? I don't want to be a disturbance, right? I would want you guys to spend as much time as possible, right? So this particular webinar is divided into three sections. Quickly I'll introduce Emertxe and our speakers, and then I leave. Then we'll hand it over to our speakers. They will be taking, today we are planning two speakers. They'll be spending around 45 minutes to 50 minutes, and you can ask as many questions as possible. All the questions are coming in my window. What I will do is, like, I will let them present for a few minutes, maybe I'll pause them, ask some questions, like that we keep moving on. And all the questions we'll try to cover today. And towards the end of this particular webinar, that's the third section, we will announce the quiz for the day. Kindly note, in order to participate in the quiz, you need to put a coupon code, which I'll be giving towards the end of the webinar, because I don't want anybody who has not attended the webinar attempt a quiz, right? It should be only for the people who are attending, people like you, right? So we will be giving a coupon code. Kindly note, if you put a wrong coupon code, you will be disqualified. Okay, so just wait towards the end. I will be giving the coupon code, and I also give the URL in case you missed it. I'll upload, and you can take the quiz. We'll also email you the link to take the quiz. It's a Google form. And then towards next week, we'll be evaluating the winners. Our team will reach out to you, and then they'll giving you the goodies, right? And all the participants will be getting the participant certificates, not somebody who comes for 5 minutes and goes, right? At least you should attend considerable amount of time. Kindly note, all the data is getting logged in the GoToWebinar in the backend, right? So that's the third section, right? Let me reiterate: introduction, then panels, the speakers will speak, and towards the end it will be about the quiz. So as and when possible, I will pause by and take questions. And this particular webinar is also going live in YouTube. We have some of our team members sitting there. People who are typing your questions in the YouTube live. They will be, I have my phone ready. My team members who are sitting in the, YouTube live, they will be sharing your questions in my phone so that I can ask the questions on your behalf. Because I'm sitting in GoToWebinar, I can't access the I can't access the YouTube live, right? That's a protocol. With that, let me move on and introduce few slides about Emertxe. People who don't know Emertxe is an edtech company. We have been in this particular education segment for almost 20 years. At a high level, we are really passionate set of people who are interested to solve this problem of employability. As you know, India has become a country of engineers. The large pool every year come out of engineering degree, but they do not have the necessary skills to basically get into a job, especially when you talk about core embedded IoT, anything that is related to electronics, right? That becomes all the more challenging, right? So we take the students, put them on a 6 months training program, online or offline, embedded and IoT. We're based out of Bangalore, but our students are pretty much pan-India, even outside India. So they attend that and they get into jobs. The second set of students are there who got into the job, but they're not in the right jobs. For example, we see a lot of students who study electronics, but they get into, let us say, an IT service company, right? But their heart is in the core side, right? So we upskill them, give a facelift to their profile, and then we help them to reposition themselves as embedded engineers, right? So that is the two type of activities that we do. And anything that we do, you can see the diagram there, a hand and a pot. We make our training programs hands-on, and so that learning becomes engaging and fun. Any program that we run, and that's one of the key reasons why we are able to produce the type of results that we've been producing over the years. As coming to our leadership team, 3 of us part of Emertxe's leadership team. Mr. Maz is the founder and the managing director of Emertxe. He's the one who started Emertxe more than almost like 20 years back. Myself, Jay Kumar, as I said, my name. I have more than 20 years of work experience. Initial 12.5 years I spent with corporate, 3 companies I worked with. I don't want to be too long about my introduction because I want to give more time to our speakers. Then I am part of leadership team currently, leading the placements and also all the outbound programs like webinars, internship programs, campus ambassador programs, etc. People who are already interns also might have met me. Of course, our students, I run the induction classes. So that's what we do. And we have a third leadership team member, Mr. Mubin, who is a technology head, who leads a team of trainers. We have the largest pool of trainers in the embedded industry. And we're overall about 130, 140 people company. In that, around 80 people are full-time mentors, which is led by Mubin, and other team is led by me and Mas. That's about our leadership team. And one of the key point that we have worked over the years is the kind of relationship that we have built with placement companies. Almost all the core industry placement companies, be it a startup, mid-sized company, MNC, right? They are very much, hiring our students. We can take any big name. Somebody already asked about Qualcomm. Our alumni Abhilash works with Qualcomm. We can ask all the questions about him, about Qualcomm. Whenever any webinar and people, naturally the question of Qualcomm comes in, right? Be it Qualcomm, NXP, all the way up to a lot of startups, mid-sized companies hire us. In fact, the Robinoid, which is where the CTO, today other speaker, Harsha. So they also hire. So a lot of companies hire. We have over 1,200 companies. The logos keep on changing, keep on growing. This is like kind of a portfolio. You can check our social media and website to get more details. So let us come to our goal now, right? Why are we doing these webinars, especially this masterclass webinars, right? Put in a very simple terms, we would like to call 2 M's. Okay. So one is mentoring, right? So when you are listening from somebody who is an expert in the domain, who's been there, done that, and are they living, they're really doing what they really like, and then they share their experience. That it's not like even when we invite many people, right, including today's speakers, what we said, you just speak your experience. You don't need to make some jazzy terms or make it very high-fi or something like that. Just let it be a free-flowing talk. Just share your experience. So when they share their original experience, you guys get a great lot of mentoring, because some of you are our students, some of your interns, some of your newbies, doesn't matter. As long as you are aspirational in getting into this industry, that a great set of mentoring happens because you are interacting with them live, right? I'm going to take up questions as well, as much as possible, right? So when that happens, what is the end point that we'll leave it with, right? Of course, we top it up with certificates, goodies, etc., just to keep it, a little bit, spicing it up, whatever you say. But at the end of the day, by interacting with this mentor, by listening to them, right, you get a lot of motivation. Okay? saying that, hey, I also want to be there. One fine day I also want to be a speaker, right? I also want to become like that, right? So rather than going in a clear Gyanbaji, if somebody comes and tells from their experience, right, you get they're like more of leading by example and sharing their real work experience. You all get motivated, right? So mentoring and motivation are the two primary reasons is our motivation to run these masterclass webinars, right? So with that, let us go to today's topic. As I said, today is an alumni series, first webinar, and this webinar is very special for all of us in Emertxe, because we have two alumni who are brothers. Harsha is elder brother, and Abhilash is a younger one. Both are Emertxe students. It's a proud Emertxe alumni, and they have come and taken our courses, because Harsha did the course before I came to Emertxe. Probably I will let him talk more about his experience. Abhi was, joined us after I came to Emertxe full time, and I have very close interaction with him, and it's great to see him growing, right? So we have, two brothers who are alumni and also doing well in their careers, going to share their experience with us. Abhilash is a senior lead engineer with Qualcomm, and Harsha is a CTO with Robonoid. He just taken an entrepreneurial path after working almost for 10 plus years in the corporate, right? He has taken a plunge after 10 years, right? This entrepreneurial bug catches most of us, including me. So that's what he does. So they're going to first we'll do, as I said, the first 45 minutes we'll have Harsha present his slide deck. And then after that we will take over, and then again I come back towards the end, and then we run through the quizzes, right? As I already said, all the participants, assuming that you are participating for most amount of the time, will get participation certificates. Quizzes, let me repeat, you need to put the coupon code, which I'll give towards the end, right? And then we'll also share our social media links and our Telegram community, etc., so that we can stay connected. Okay. So that's a brief about today's, I think the next one is a quiz code. Okay, and yes, I will refrain from doing that. So with that, let me, introduce, let me invite Sri Harsha. Harsha, are you there?
Yeah, Jaykumar.
I think I'm on mute. Give me a minute. Let me.
Hello.
My audio is on. Harsha, are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello.
Okay, great. Yeah. Let me make you a presenter. Yeah, so you can go ahead and share your screen.
Let me know when it's visible.
Yeah, we are able to see your screen.
Is it the slide with the notes, or it's just the slide? Just give me a feedback.
Yeah, slides are visible.
Okay, no, like I have two monitors.
Visible.
But your voice is a bit breaking.
1 second.
Maybe I go off the video. Let's try to save some bandwidth.
Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah. Guys, are you able to hear Mr. Harsha? Harsha, maybe you can make it, there is also a side panel coming. Maybe you can put it in the full screen mode or something.
1 second. I think the switch.
Yeah.
Is it fine now?
Perfect. Yes, Harsha. Please go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Myself, Sri Harsha here. I am the co-founder and CTO of Robonoid Technologies. I am here to present mostly my industry experience and help you who are fresher graduates in the industry to be equipped with what we look for in any emerging students who are aspiring for a job in embedded domain. Let me go through the agenda for the day. So we will start with what we learned.
It's
Hello.
Still in the we are seeing the notes. You can switch to the full screen.
1 second. Is it fine?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Now it
Yes,
is.
yes, Harsha, it's fine.
Okay. So yeah, we'll go with agenda. Like we'll start with my experience in and Emertxe, like how easy background student aspiring to get a job in embedded domain, and how the Emertxe courses at Emertxe helped me propel that chance. We'll also go through deeper understanding of fundamentals. Like it's not just what we learn at the course that is provided to us, but also the depth and breadth of the domain knowledge that helps you achieve a greater accolade at your work. And we'll also go through interview process where, let's say, like as an interviewer, what would I expect from an ideal candidate, how you should prepare for those interviews, what should be your approach. And we'll also look at the career opportunities in like booming sectors like Internet of Things, EV sectors. We'll end up with how do, like, once you get placed, what should be your attitude. Like it is not just that your your sole goal is not to get a job and start earning. That is not the right attitude and approach towards work. So we'll go through a few pointers there, like how once you attain any work, once you get placed, like how do you handle the situation. So to emphasize more about myself, I'm an embedded system software expert working in the industry for 14 years. I worked across around 5 companies. This is my Robonoid is a 5th company, and it's a I think it's been a 5 years journey so far at Robonoid, and it's still continuing to always challenge us with new problems. And like over the years with the companies that I work with, it's mostly the product sector that we have is mostly on the networking side. So when we say networking, so we get to the point of data integrity, how important the security aspect of handling data. So that made me curious to approach connectivity and security solutions, which I still look over at Robonoid today. So these are the 5 companies that I work with. Processor Systems is very special to me. Like that is my first job, and it's Indian service company, one of the pioneers in embedded sector. They were the first ones to work on fiber technology, which all we use today in broadband and wireless routers. And then I probably worked for 2 years at Proxys and then moved on to Mistral Solutions. It is also one of the service-based company. They work on various they work with various government organizations like DRDO, Bell. They provide hardware. Mostly they provide hardware solutions to these government organizations, and that which are mostly like go into the defense equipments, or your weather monitoring devices, which the Indian government uses. I served at Mistral Solutions for 3 years, and then I moved on to Netgear Research India Private Limited. Netgear is a global product company. They have their networking products, enterprise solutions, wireless solutions, which span across from consumer grade to industry grade, which fires up the businesses to have, like, let's say, like nowadays we use laptops and we don't worry about network connectivity at all. So behind this technology, there are companies like Netgear, Cisco, which provide this wireless technologies. So I had a very good opportunity at Netgear to work on wireless solutions and also handle field issues. Like once we develop product, it is not the end of it. So once it goes to a customer place or any business arena, so there starts your journey for how do you handle issues at place. Like there will be a lot of like any software system cannot be released without, say, like it is 0 bugs. So it's not possible. So there will be field issues that is coming up on day-to-day activities, that how do you handle, how do you solve them, and also handle the clients at the same time. So that was very challenging aspect for me. And after Netgear, I moved on to another company called Global Edge Software, where I was mostly an individual contributor or a consultant. I was deployed at Intel in India Corporation. I was working for a team who were designing 4G modems for Intel, which was mostly going into Apple phones and such. So there, I was mostly looking into the device driver development and automation of the validation of the software there. That was a very small stint of 1 year. By that time, like I had found a group of passionate engineers who shared the same vision of developing, let's say, working on the emerging technologies and develop a attitude towards manufacturing products on our own. So that is when I decided to quit working as an employee and start my entrepreneurial journey as a let's say as a founder. So basically, even though my designation is CTO, I code every day. I take care of admin activities. I take care of staff hiring, technical hiring. So it's the most satisfying job. Also, it is the most challenging job. So that's how my career has been for last 14 years across these companies. So to iterate back, like how I ended up at Emertxe, I'm a BE Electronics and Communication graduate, passed out in 2009 from the very well-known Sri Jayachamara College of Engineering, Mysore. I was a mostly more than average student in 12th, and I got through the course well, and I was able to get a seat in SJCE. But then, you get overwhelmed with success. You get and also it's a change of place. I was brought up in my hometown Shimoga, and it's a change of place, Mysore. So all those aspects put a new challenge at learning at the education curriculum. So there, like, I could barely manage with what you call, say, an average score. I think I had some 68 percentage when I graduated, and even though I got lucky by getting placed at Tata Consultancy Services, I was one of the early batch of students who got placed when any placement starts at the college. So from there, and the year 2008 and 2009 were very similar what you see at the current job market. It was much worse than what you see as of now. We had a big recession at 2008, which spilled over till 2010. So who were engineering fresher graduates who were passed out in 2008, 2009, 2010, all of us had to wait for our joining dates. So even though you were happy that even though I was happy that I had a job offer, but I had to wait for 6 months. So, and being electronics graduate, I was always enthusiastic to work towards microcontrollers, C programming, mostly firmware development as such. So I was like wondering what will I do in that span. So I got lucky once again by like one of my college mathematics department head of the department had seen our final year project. It was a solar tracking device. So he was very much impressed with our journey there, like our attitude towards the project. So he offered me a internship at his own private company, which digitizes the Indian scriptures from, let's say, there is a Shankar Mutt in Sringeri. They have their own scriptures books that they usually digitize and release as CD. So that intrigued me. Like there is a, I think I'm not sure how many of you heard of Talegari Lipis. So he had a lots of them which were mentioning about slokas, Vedas and all. So he had a very interesting challenge there. Like he wanted automated device which could capture each Talegari and end of it digitize them and get it a book out of it. I along with my one of my engineering next. How do I wait till my job offer? So then from Mysore, I moved to Bangalore. One of my close relative inspired me to look out for embedded institutes where either that or networking courses. That time the CCNA was very popular. So I went through like 3-4 academies which taught CCNA, also which taught embedded courses. And luckily I ended up at Emertxe. I had a very good interaction with Master. So that's how like it clicked me there. Like I probably like I should not look out further and I should start with the course with that hand at Emertxe. So and at that point of time, like I barely knew C programming at that time. I had used it for my internship. I had used it for my final year project. But that's it. Like it was just a set of instructions to get the things done. Like vaguely, I knew what are the intricacies of it. So that's when like the curriculum of Emertxe, which let's say the exposure to Linux operating system and the intricacies of C programming got me very curious to work on embedded systems. The course is structured nicely to cater to the industry expectation, which from a freshly graduated engineer. I did not realize this aspect while going through the course, but I was gathering the right skills to handle various day-to-day activities at work proficiently for years to come. Let's say, like you see more. I think how many of you are familiar with CLI, man pages? Probably I'll start blabbering less and want to keep it interactive. So students who have already graduated the course or in the mid of the course can answer these questions. So to solve the assignments at Emertxe, how many of you used man pages? How many of you used command line interfaces?
Yeah, guys. Yeah, no idea. Means I'm talking about the existing students. The question from Ms. Harsha is, have you used man pages, command line interface? I'm saying Shakil, Saujanya are saying yes. Divya is telling no. Command line interface, yeah. Rashmi saying yes. Sudhindran, yes. Seshasai, David, Pramod, yeah. Aishwarya, Shivani, yeah. They all used Harsha.
Good, yeah. Good. So it's good to know that most of you all familiarized with man pages. So it is one of the very helpful tool to learn about operating system APIs that are available, which will help you design your software. So the these things like how the course is structured, it is C programming, then you have data structures, then you have C++ programming. So the flow of the course is very beautiful, that you learn, you would not worry about syntaxes after some point, because once you start enjoying the assignments, you would know you would not be afraid of the syntaxes or the concepts. So let's say like one second. So as the course is structured, I'll move on to like we have covered C, C++, data structures. I think these three aspects, C, C++, and data structures, are like, if any student can get better at these three aspects, he can crack any interview, get any job. It is just that you should not look at it as just syntaxes or instructions. You should understand how it has to be used, how that helps you get the programming logic that is more important. So to get further deeper into the fundamentals, so how many of you are afraid of using pointers? Let's say also the static versus dynamic memory allocation. I think there are very good assignments around it at Emertxe that you learning them would like excel you at usage of those aspects. So has anybody worked with function pointers?
Has anybody tried function pointers, guys? So Seshasha is telling, I am not afraid, but I have to revise. And then so we have Bala Manikanta saying yes, he's scared. And Charishma is telling no.
I think once if you have completed all the assignments around pointer, you will never be afraid of pointers. They are your go-to tool for most of the solutions. We still use it in our day-to-day designs, software architects. So to continue further, let's say like the importance of learning static versus dynamic memory allocation, the usage of mallocs, free, which like if you don't learn those concepts, you will end up creating a mess, lot of bugs at your workplace, and your team lead, your managers will not be happy with you. So learning these aspects is very important. Please put more. I am emphasizing again and again. Learn these concepts and also like try to complete all the assignments around them. And another aspect of software systems, embedded software systems, is OS concepts like processor thread synchronization mechanisms. Like that is like, let's say like there is a. Let me differentiate. Let me ask another question. How many of you understand a general purpose system and the difference between general purpose system and embedded systems?
So let me rephrase. Yeah. So if you can type the answer, don't say yes or no. What is the difference between general purpose system and embedded system? Can we get some answers so that I can read it for our speaker? Yeah, Supriya is telling embedded works for a specific purpose. Let us get some more answers. Multitasking versus specific, says Vipul Shende. Any other answers? Difference between general purpose and embedded.
Can you name any general purpose system?
Yeah. PC, says Likit.
Good.
Laptop, says Vipul.
Yeah. Okay. So can you name any embedded system which you see across in day-to-day activities in your
Washing machine says microwave oven, mobile, washing machine, AC,
so
digital
how did you
thermometer.
differentiate? So how did you differentiate between these two then? Like laptop, PC is general purpose, and your washing machine, micro oven, your digital timer, calculator. What do you think a calculator is? General purpose or embedded system?
Answers coming up: pacemaker, ATM. Yeah, now coming to differences, Harsha, I'm telling, Chinmaya is telling it's a specific versus general, and similar answers coming up.
Like my point here is like you have to understand why any like a calculator or a micro oven or a washing machine is embedded system. With embedded system, you cannot do software development. It is meant to wash clothes. With calculator, it is only meant to add, subtract, multiply, or let's say if you have engineering calculator, you do mostly integration, cosine, sine, those kind of calculations. But with a general purpose, you have like the point here I'm trying to convey is the general purpose has more resources at hand, like RAM, storage, CPU, clock cycle. So when you have to differentiate general purpose versus embedded, you have to look at these aspects. So when I try to interview candidates, I am like let's say little disappointed when they come for interviews without knowing these differences. They say they have completed a course in embedded systems, but when they ask about how a computer works, let alone the embedded system, when I just ask about a computer, how a computer boots, what happens, they don't know. So understanding these aspects, how constrained is the embedded system, like how small is a RAM resource, how slower is the clock cycle of a CPU, how many less peripherals are available, like I2C, SPI peripherals are there when compared to a general purpose system, would help you design your software around embedded systems. Let's say wireless router, it's an embedded system, but it has probably a 128 MB RAM compared to your 4 GB RAM in your laptop. So I hope that you're understanding the differences and how should you emphasize when you learn the course. It's not just finish the assignments, copy the projects, but also when copying is okay. See, we all learn by copying, but when you copy, you should understand why we are copying a particular statement, why you are copying a particular function, what is the input and output details of that function, what does it provide. So then like also to help you like get more in-depth understanding of embedded system fundamentals, you also have to look into debugging. So once you have like developed software, I'm sure it is prone to bugs, logical errors, syntactical errors. So what are your friends there? How do you debug? You basically start with printf statements. So that is the very easiest and fastest approach. You add prints in every function. That will help you say like where the program has crashed. The most famous and notorious error of any C program is segmentation fault. Can anybody tell me what is segmentation fault?
Guys, can you tell what is a segmentation fault? Just to reiterate Harsha's question. Anil is telling illegal access of memory. Chinmaya is telling runtime error. When we try to access illegal memory, says Lahari. So people also telling the same. Saujanya is telling access to unauthorized memory. Deepti is telling illegal access to memory.
So okay, if time permitted, I would have asked what is legal access and illegal access, but it's good to know that people have uh, at least basic understanding of it. So to handle such errors, there you should also learn the usage of tools like debugger, GDB, GNU debugger, and there to handle memory leaks, you have Valgrind. You also have to look at the network packets to understand the TCP/IP protocol, UDP protocol, MQTT protocol. You also have a tool called Wireshark, which would give you a very in-depth understanding of any, let's say, network communication, memory usage. So these, along with course content, there are like concepts where there is a usage of GDBs involved. So you should also put more time into learning those tools. Okay, so getting back again, like I'm reiterating like how Emertxe has shaped my career. It has like given me a very concrete foundation in C programming, especially the pointer arithmetics, and like again I was talking about function pointers. So I would probably, like, if you wake me up at midnight and ask me about a dynamic memory relation, I could quickly write a program there. Even after 14 years, I could do that. Like, if not all the syntax are right, at least the what you call the pseudocode would be at least right. So this was the mentoring I got at Emertxe, and it is not just like a tutor would teach you and you would get everything. It is your own involvement also matters. So I was one of the student who would bug the tutor with more questions. I think Ashutosh was my tutor for C programming. Probably is not there at Emertxe now. I had Pradeep sir for Linux internals. So I would bug them with lots of questions, however silly it is. So it is important to ask questions. How much ever dumb doesn't matter. You start which question is dumb, which question is not dumb by asking dumb questions. Start somewhere. Don't just sit through the sessions. And nowadays with online sessions, it is like very easy to beast through any of the tutoring sessions and not get anything out of it. And you come up, you land up interviews telling I've finished a course in Emertxe for 6 months, I know these many projects. But if I ask a couple of questions a bit deeper into the pointer arithmetics, I think that like you will be looking at the sky. So that's how the mentoring I got from Emertxe. And I also like completed most of the assignments. I wouldn't say like I did all the 100% assignments. Probably I would go up to the 80%, like take up the like intermediate levels of assignments where there will be a dynamic memory allocation with like 3-dimensional array, or like usage of function pointers, that kind of assignments. And doing this, like after like couple of modules, C data structures, I had a lot of off-campus interviews going on at that time. Like my determination was there, even though I had a job offer at TCS. There was joining date in Jan, but I had already joined Emertxe in December 2009. So I had made my commitment, and the job at TCS was mostly into services domain, mainframes, which were nowhere related to the my specialization in BE. So I really committed to the course. I finished all the assignments, and that helped me get my. I got to the first interview itself, like processor systems. I spoke about processor systems initially. So that was my first job, and those days written tests. Nowadays you have a lot of online tools to test you with the different programmings. Those days were like you have to write code. Not even your people would not give you laptop or desktops to code. You just have to write and be confident that the syntaxes that you have used, the functions that you have written, are correct. So I was the written tests were never daunting to me after I finished C programming and data structure course. So I straight away got the job. Probably 2-3 rounds of interview written and one in-person interview. I got the job, and that was a consultant job. Nowadays, you start like students are looking for a package of 8 lakhs, 12 lakhs with a, let's say, a very first job, and they don't bother about what kind of job profile is. So my job was a consultant job for, let's say, 15,000 rupees. So I happily took it. So, but I am very happy that I took the job. It gave me a very good opportunity to learn bootloaders, device drivers, which Emertxe had already built the base, and I was able to work through my day-to-day activities, proxies, and learn the depth and breadth of embedded system software design. So then, and also the first job, I also found my long-term friendship and current business partner, Anush. He is the CEO of Robonoid Technologies. So let's say, like, that's how, like, I'm putting this across in a very raw format. Like, let's say you should not worry about which company you get or which how much package you're getting at your first job compare with your peers. You should be more looking at what is your passion. Is embedded system designing software for embedded system is your passion? Is that, does C programming interest you? Does C++ data structure interest you? So your focus should be on those. Not, I would not say package is not never an important aspect. It is important because it gives you some amount of satisfaction. Your personal growth is also linked with your compensation what you earn at work. But keep it as a secondary aspect when you look out for a job. And coming to the last point, I did make a mistake of not finishing the course before taking the first job. Let's say back then it was 4 months courses with 6 modules. I had barely completed 3 modules. Since I was under the pressure of getting the job, I had rejected a job offer. I had to take this job, and then I did this. I did complete the course by taking weekend modules, also attending classes in the evening batch. So, but it was not satisfactory. Up to date, my concepts of Linux internals, the concepts are thorough, but if you ask me about the APIs and all, I still have to look at the man page or Google. So the point I try to convey here is complete your course, how much ever you are, let's say, what you say, like how much ever, like many opportunities come and go, like your peers get placed, until unless you are very much into the course, please complete your course. Unless there is a pressure to get the job, I understand. Yeah, you probably finish 3-4 modules and you look out for opportunities, start giving the interviews. But the primary goal should be to complete the course to the fullest. So moving on from like how Emertxe shaped my career, Emertxe course has shaped my career. I would like to iterate some of the aspect that I look for when I hire any engineering graduate. So it is, one thing is to prepare your resume, attend mock interviews, but also knowing about the job description at hand helps. So you should know what you want. Like, are you looking for a firmware development role, or a Linux device driver, board support package, customization role? I know, like, these are aspects at higher level. Probably a fresher would not know much, but having your own agenda helps here, because I always wanted to be an architect, software architect. So I've landed here as a CTO now. not just architecting the software, but also architecting the businesses at my company. So having a broader determined goal helps to prepare for your interviews, to apply for certain companies and certain roles. And also you should research about the company and the job profile. So people like usually the students come to the interview with their projects and resumes filled up with so many projects, so and so. But when they ask like, do you know data structures? Do you know this job profile requires a bit more understanding of embedded system? So that is when they get confused. So researching about the company, what kind of products, whether it's a product-based company, service-based company, and will those aspects match to your aspirations? So it would help in your preparations. And when you are in an interview process, in a in-person interview, so you should generally when anybody asks, tell me about yourself, that's the first question you would ask. So any student will start about talking about education, their hometown. Those things are fine, but when you start conveying these aspects, you should also convey your passion. How did you land up at Emertxe? Why did you choose the training? What were the difficulties you were facing at your education curriculum? And how did you face them and handle them by with your training modules? So that conveying those points helps. Like as an interviewer, I would not be looking at how accurately you put across your syntaxes, how accurately you're answering the programming questions, but your attitude towards the problems or failures at your own personal growth is much more interesting. That would grasp the attention of the interviewer. And please do not highlight all of your projects. Like there'll be some 10, 15 projects at any training modules, and students just copy them. They don't even understand broadly what exactly the project is. So I would say like put across 4 or 5 projects, and probably you should be very good at explaining 1 or 2 projects which you are deeply involved with, even your engineering project. So that aspect really keeps you apart from any average performing candidate. And the other aspect is, it is okay to say no when you don't know the answer, rather than just fumbling with broader aspect like ChatGPT. So I have done AI, ML. Please don't do that. It is okay to say like, I don't know the answer, but I'm very eager to learn. So this is one of the humbling experiences which you can come across. Then that would help the interviewer gauge not just your technical proficiency, your personal attitude towards work. And please revise your coding projects before getting onto any interview. Don't come there and let's say like, if I give a linked list question, then it's like, okay, I knew this function would give me tail of the linked list, but I know the syntax, I know the input output, but I'm not getting the logic. Please don't do that. Please revise all of your coding projects before getting onto the interview. So, and yeah, so continuing with interview process, this is what I look for in any ideal candidate who was freshly graduated. And we also give importance of trained student. So because at day-to-day businesses, nobody has the time to handhold you with every intricacies of programming at work. So any company, be it MNC, be it a startup, they would expect some level of understanding of embedded systems, programming languages, algorithms. So that otherwise there is no differentiation between a graduate and a trained candidate. So proficiency in one of the programming languages, preferably C, is what we look for at Robonoid. Probably I'm assuming this is what all of the other companies look for. And the other aspect is you also need to know object-oriented programming, because that is one of the aspect which scales your software. Like how do you handle data and operation on data? So C does not give the constructs for handling data in a good manner. So knowing object-oriented programming like C++ would definitely keep you apart from any of the average candidate. And as I'm reiterating, like know about system. Like I think I'm glad that many of you answered general purpose system versus embedded system, and memory leaks, segmentation faults, and like constraints that come up with any embedded system, like RAM, lesser CPU cycles, lesser storage, lesser peripherals. So know these intricacies. That would definitely keep you apart from average candidate. And then we also look for candidates who can break down complex problems. We don't expect 100% right answer in any interview. That is not the right way to interview anybody. Like it is not like I give you some problem statement and I expect you in 1 hour the solution for it. That is not even how we code even at our companies. Nobody expects an answer in 1 hour. So it's mostly how do you break down a complex problem. Like let's say if I ask you to come up with a function for handling 3-dimensional array, how do you approach, whether you use malloc or you use static allocation of 3-dimensional array. So that's your initial approach to the problem gives us how much understanding you have at your subjects. So ability to break down complex problems, you can even Google, you can search a lot of answers nowadays. If Stack Overflow is there, even now you don't have to go to Stack Overflow, the ChatGPT gives you the whole code. But getting that code, and you cannot just copy paste in your day-to-day business. You will be like it's like a plagiarism. So and it will not right away fit into your problem at work as well. So you should also know how to, once you got the solution, how do you adjust it to the problem at hand. So that is what we look for. And I'm assuming you already, who are looking at the last aspect of the program, like that function, you know the answers. Can someone tell me the different outputs for this function when you have different inputs?
Harsha, you have a question? Can you just repeat?
There is a small function that is shown on the slide, which has different inputs and which should give different return different strings as output. I just wanted to know, like, students, whether they understood the function. I'm trying to convey a point there.
Okay, so yeah, so I'm getting some answers here. True and false, 0 and 1.
Okay, it's mostly like I'm trying to show the point here, like not just knowing the programming language syntax, you should also know the logic behind it. So we look for both in any candidate. So that is when we hire them. If you just know C syntaxes, that's not enough. So the output would be you are hired if you know both programming language constructs and both logic. Okay, moving on to the
Harsha, there are a few questions here. Let me, maybe a couple of them we can take.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm seeing some
we
questions.
can is there a way to overshoot the time by 5-10 minutes, or I'm not sure how much I'm eating into the Abhilash time?
We can. We are fine. See, for us, we always say, the content is important. It's okay if you overshoot, no issues. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So there are a couple of questions here. One is from Siddhi Bafna. The question is the final year project plays a major role in interviews?
Sorry, can you come again?
The final year project that they do in the college.
Yeah, see, that is definitely an important role. Back then, like maybe 10-15 years, there was a sole project we used to do it, engineering graduation. But nowadays, I think the curriculum has changed drastically. I think students do many smaller projects in 7th semester, and then 8th semester they only focus on internship. Am I correct?
Okay. Hope Siddhi, you got the answer. There is one more question from Yogesh. Sorry, Lokesh. Lokesh is asking, is NIT and IIT or tier 1 college only getting jobs in lakhs? Basically, he's talking about somebody getting 26 lakhs, etc. Or even a tier 2 or a tier 3 student. Can we crack that much package?
Definitely, yes. It is possible. Like by going by the tag of IIT, NIT, yeah, the students, they've already put up their efforts upfront. So yes, they deserve to get good offers, job offers. But also from a tier 2 college, tier 2 city, they would definitely get such packages if they get well trained, or say they put across the efforts to learn all these aspects of entry level industry expectations. Then they would definitely get placed. And again, I would say, like, see, the number is at the start of your career should not matter. Maybe you will get there, if not the day 0 or day 1, you will get there probably 1 or 2 years down the line. So as I was iterating at first, my first salary was 15,000, and after 3 years I was having a package of 12 lakhs. So that's almost 1 lakh a month.
Right.
So where is 15,000? Where is 1 lakh?
Right.
Okay.
Right. So the point is, guys, what Harsha is trying to do is, like, maybe not in the beginning. Lokesh is again asking, is it freshers accepting lakhs package may be wrong in the beginning? Yeah, that could be wrong. What Harsha is trying to do, tell you the skill, right? If you look at the IIT and NIT people, I don't know, many of I graduated from NIT, right? When you look at way back, and also when you look at my juniors as of today, in the second year, third year itself, they, their skill level, and thanks to the online learning, etc., they're way ahead in the job market in terms of skills. So when any company want to hire them from the campus, they do pay. But that doesn't mean that a tier 2, tier 3 student doesn't get that much high package, as Harsha mentioned. Maybe, not immediately, but maybe few years down the line. Yes, definitely possible. Hope Lokesh, indirectly we are telling that yes, it is possible for you to have a very good bank balance. Lokesh, is that clear?
Thank you for aptly putting that across.
Yeah. So one more question, maybe, Harsha, before we move. There's a question from Arvind Nair. Arvind is asking, being a software test engineer working in a non-core IT firm, will its experience be counted when I'm switching to embedded domain?
Yeah, testing experience does matter, but the domain also at stake. See, any work experience is good. When somebody comes with 0 work experience and having a 1-year experience, I would look at a 1-year experience candidate, because his communication skills would have improved, his approach to work would have improved. I could delegate certain works to an experienced candidate. So don't get discouraged that you're coming from a testing background and now you're trying to get a breakthrough in embedded domain for a development job role. it definitely matters. It's just that how do you put across what all things you have learned in your testing domain that could get handy in your next role. That how do you put across and how well you do the get trained matters.
Hope Arvind that answered your question. Many questions are coming. Guys, I think we'll let Harsha continue. We'll try to take as many towards the end. Please proceed, Harsha.
Okay, thank you. So moving on, I wanted to emphasize mostly the technology stack of IoT with different aspects, like how the career opportunities are in different domains. So any networking product or an Internet of Things product would have these broader 5 categories. Device hardware, where which gives the base for your software to run, which also the embedded system, which gives the platform where the task at hand is taken care. So then there is a device software which can be a firmware, bare metal code, or with RTOS or a Linux-based OS, a real-time OS that could be running on as a device software. And very much when you say networking or IoT product, you definitely have communication. So the idea at hand is you need to collect data, real world data for any application, and you send it across to a broader server where it can do a million number of calculations and give the interpretation of data. And also this IoT and EV are it's a go hand in hand. So nowadays, like you can see with climate change leading us to go to greener technologies, and EVs are coming up. Lots of EVs, automotives, even the cars are becoming electric. So all these 3 sectors have these 5 categories in common. So where communication becomes the center of the technology. It's like you collect the data, you push it to a cloud platform where you store and then retrieve with cloud applications, business applications to interpret the data. So with TV, you have smart scooters coming up where you run like minute by minute of data of how much battery is left, how much longer your ride can be, how closest the next charging station is. So there the communication aspect comes up, and I also spoke about cloud platforms where you store the data, where you process the data using various AWS services, Azure services, your Docker tools to run different apps. And there are again like cloud applications which gives you data visualizations using HTML5, WebAssembly, React.js, Node.js, and there is also like Flutter giving you common APIs to work on Android and iOS. So this is a broader like grouping of sectors, technology stack. And here, like if you look at the how the ECEP course is placed, you could say like I have highlighted there with 2 categories: device software and communications. Hardware, you should to get a job in hardware design, you should have a different skill sets that is not catered in ECEP. That is also not the scope of ECEP. So if you look at these 2, device software and communications, by getting through the ECP course, you would understand firmware design, BSP development, that is board support package, which nothing but your device drivers, your OS customizations. Then you have middleware libraries like audio, video codecs, GStreamers, those kind of libraries. Then you have your final end user applications like Qt based applications, or let's say Golang based applications, connectivity modules, as such. And also when you learn more about microcontrollers, you also learn about hardware communication protocols like SPI, I2C, networking stacks like TCP/IP, UDP, and the higher level application stack like MQTT, which by the way, like MQTT is now the one of the standard to send data from any embedded system to the cloud. So if you know MQTT or HTTP protocols, you straight away you can get into any of the IoT startups or MNCs. And also there are like with connectivity moving to 4G, 5G, and narrowband IoT LoRa, which have long range spectrum for data capture. So these two aspects, like if you cover the ECP course well, you could have your opportunities in these two categories, like device software and communication protocols. Any doubts here? Any clarifications you're looking for?
Harsha, I'm seeing a lot of messages, but I think in the interest of time, we'll proceed a little bit. Maybe we can take it up a little later. I'm seeing a lot of questions are coming in the video. Yeah.
Okay. So moving on, like I'll quickly breeze through what we do at Robonoid. We do product design and development from scratch. We build IoT products. Over the past 5 years, our team has been building up internet connected devices and products from ground up. We build, design, develop, and manufacture our own B2B and B2C. B2B means business to business products, and B2C means business to consumer products. But there's a differentiation there. Probably you can look into it on your own time. And then we work with pioneering companies which in the EV sector, which also there is a common interest with IoT infrastructure. So, and that's all. Like we do product design and we customize those products and solutions for our customers. So this is one of our first product, IoT product, which is an indoor air quality monitor, where it measures these like 5-6 parameters, different parameters. Let's like the most important is carbon dioxide level and dust particle level. So being in any AC environment, we are unaware of how toxic it is when the carbon dioxide levels go high. So this was one of the product which was designed for healthcare sector, be it ICU or a hospitality industry, where we go on our vacation, but we don't know what kind of places we are in. So this is what one of the very first product we designed, and this is somewhat like a UI visualization dashboard looks like, with mobile app and web-based interface. And like again reiterating, how we build products is like basic. Like you have your PCB hardware design, your mechanical design, and we even build our own, like make our own PCB design at our own workplace. So to give some of our successful clients, we deployed one like customized our product UCO, the air quality monitor, for one of the needs of TCS. They had seen our product and they were looking for a low-cost solution for their own server rooms, which had HVAC problems, AC problems. So the server rooms used to have a lot of servers, which if the AC goes down, they usually servers go up to a temperature of more than 65, 85 degree. They just cut off work. They just stop working. So to handle that problem at their server rooms, they asked our help to design a product, low-cost product, which would fit for their need. We did this in just 3 months of 3 months. Like for UCO, we had probably took 18 months to end-to-end design, but the expertise we built over 18 months gave the fruit in just 3 months when we designed product, redesigned the product for TCS. And like to re-emphasize, like the person who rejected joining TCS had to end up working at TCS, but as a product developer. So that is the scope of your getting trained, or determination helps you to reach where you want. So moving on, like our recent customers is Ola Electric. They have like 2 years back they launched their electric vehicle. We were the one of the first teams to work on hypercharger projects, where we commission the EV chargers. It provides you the real-time alerts and notifications, nearest charging point, most economical route. This information would go to the EV or the customer's user's phone and would guide them to the nearest charging station. We also worked on the security aspects of since these chargers are monitorizable chargers where these chargers are deployed like a petrol bunk where users can charge, and that the electricity used at that particular place would be built for the owner of the place. So we had to handle the security aspect of that billing and monetizing aspects. So the data is not manipulated. Somebody coming with the EV should not charge your vehicle for free of cost. There is a free of cost charge deployed by most of the EV vendors for maybe a span of 1 year, but after that they will monetize. So we will also handle the security aspects. And currently we are providing connectivity solutions and dashboard solutions for Ether Energy smart electric scooter. They have their Android solutions, and now they are coming up with low-cost microcontroller-based solutions. And our team is developing RTOS frameworks for those memory-constrained devices. We're also looking for getting connectivity models like BLE and LTE on such memory-constrained devices. So, these are the opportunities at Robonoid. Let's say somebody is looking for a good careers to start with. We work on EV sector, we work on IoT sector, and we have our own many side projects going on. We are also looking at honeybee agriculture, how do you put IoT device to improve the yield of honeybee farms. So these are the opportunities. If somebody looking at a good starting place, you're always welcome to apply. So moving on, this would be the last 2 slides from my end. Once you get placed, how should be your attitude towards work? Is your learning, does your learning end there? No. So once you get placed in any core companies, core in the sense like people who have come from electronics, electrical background, and computer science background, they look for relevance in these kind of embedded system domains, which is categorized as core companies. So once you have joined the job, you still have to code every day, browse through lots of codes of your peers, your team leaders, and coding every day definitely pays off in long run. It's like a compounding interest if you look at from a personal finance perspective. And then you should be always ready to upskill yourself at any point of time. Let's say your role at your first company is becoming limited. You're getting same probably device development or bootloader or board bring up kind of activities every project. Then you should upskill. Let's say you learn about different frameworks. There is a lot of frameworks that you can learn in embedded systems like state machine and all those kind of things that would give you opportunity in some, maybe in the same company, in different team, or in a different company. So you should always be ready to upskill. And the other important aspect is your communication skills. You should say, I'm not talking about proficiency over English. It is the ability to put your thought process in simple words. Even it's okay if you fumble, but you should speak up in team meetings. You should have a good email etiquette where how do you respond to your colleagues with your problem statement? How do you summarize your day-to-day activities to your manager? Those things matters. Then you should own your work. It's not like a team lead gives you a job, a smaller task, and he gives you 3 days or a week to finish, and you just go finish it and then report to him. No, So earlier, like early span of career, that happens like maybe for 3 to 6 months, that is okay. But after that, you should start owning your job. You should, like, even though the task at hand is only 3 days, you can finish it in 1 or 2 days and then learn around the task. And once you have a good grip on your skill sets, like the intricacies of your work, you should also teach your juniors. It is only when you teach or mentor others, your concepts of all gets thorough within yourself, internalize in yourself. So teaching is also one of the best ways to learn. It says teaching, but it is mostly learning. And the other, like, challenges what you face once you get a job is like mostly like somebody your peer may be handling getting a 10-15 lakh package, but you should still earning 6 lakh after 1 years of experience. What should you do? You switch? But your job is very good. You probably a good firmware designer now, or let's say a Linux driver developer now. So always manage, like, also give some importance to manage your personal finance, uh, manage your aspirations well, so that there should not be frequent job switch just because for the sake of money, earning more money. So that is the point I'm trying to convey. Hope there is no misunderstanding there. And then your early job does matter in your career. Like let's say, like nowadays you see, like students struggle to get placed in core jobs. They had to take up jobs in like software or testing domain, or but then they know like it is limited. Then they struggle. Either they suffer that throughout that career, or they have to put extra effort and then learn, join any upskilling course, and then. So it is always important to choose wisely. Like when you switch to the next company, know about your team, know about your work at hand before switching. And also, and the last but not the least important thing is, like, have fun at work. You should be like bonding with your team members, because you spend 9 to 10 hours in day-to-day office work. But if you don't have fun at work, it's like you will not be satisfied with your overall career. So to summarize, this Emertxe ECP course is like a launchpad for you, like how ISRO launchpad is there for the Chandrayaan or Aditya devices. So you should definitely make use of the course very well, and you could probably reach moon or sun. You can be working at ISRO, who knows. So then you should, like, practice and finish all the assignments. Please finish all the assignments. I have given a few links here, like you can read about these things at later point. And along with assignments, you should also browse good amount of code of others. That is how you develop good coding habits. You learn about different programming logics and algorithms, and try different building a different like many small systems at your own pace, like end-to-end systems. Maybe you can build a IoT device to switch off your fan, okay? Or let's say my brother and myself developed a very costly solution for a simple problem, to turn off a geyser. We were so lazy to turn off a geyser. We had a PLC device which would alarm us to go and switch off the device. So make it fun, make the learning more fun. That would keep you going for a longer run, rather than just doing what the job asks for you. And finally, like, participate in hackathons, collaborate with your peers, review their code. If not, it is not, even though if it is not your job, please, like, help others, so that way you learn more. Finally, I'm like leaving you with these books, which probably you should be knowing if you are continuing your journey in embedded systems. The first and foremost, the C programming language by Cunningham and Ritchie, who is the father of C. C programming. So if you read this book from page 1 to page 300, you will be amazed, and you will definitely relate a lot of things with the course provided at Emertxe. So please go through this book. It will not be able to finish in 1 month or 2 months. It's a journey. So probably read it over a year or two. Keep working, keep coding. Then there is another book on object-oriented programming in C++ by Robert Lafour. That's again a very good book. It has mostly structured like Emertxe course. So, and also you should know about, if you want more interested in hacking and debugging things, there is a book on that as well, The Art of Exploration. These three books will give you good understanding programming and software design. The last two books is mostly I put up here to give you the understanding or idea of, like, this book 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel gives you propels you towards entrepreneurship. So even if not entrepreneurship, you can be from let's say non-core background, civil, mechanical, but if you put your head and determination towards what you want to achieve, you from 0 you can be 1, that is 100%. And the last book is one of my favorites, that is Atomic Habits, which gives you tools how do you inculcate good habits and lose the bad habits. So most of our day-to-day activities, be it driving, be it eating, all our habits formed across the years. The same way I want you to develop coding habits. So with that, I'll conclude the my time given to me. Probably I've extended by 15 minutes. So sorry for that. With giving you the thank you notes. Thank you for the whole Emertxe team for putting across this Alumni Speak. Special thanks to Maaz, Mubin, and Jai Kumar, with whom I think Maaz I have interacted initially, and Jai Kumar I've been interacting with the past few years. And also my thankful for my colleague and CEO of Robonaut Technologies. We have put in efforts to even prepare for this presentation. So with that, I'll be ending my time. Thank you.
So thank you. Thanks a lot, Harsha. Thanks for your valuable insights. So let me quickly move on to the next piece from Abhilash. Then probably we can come back and summarize. Request you to be there. Let me make Abhilash as the presenter now.
I should be doing that.
I'm doing that. I'm doing that.
Sure. Okay.
Abhi, can you just share?
Yeah.
Your,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I have got the control. Let me share my screen. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I have now moved to the presentation. So yeah, please let me know once it is in the full screen mode.
Yeah. Great. And let me go off the video. Over to you, Abhi. So guys, Shakil, hang on. There's a question coming of how to apply for Robonaut. You are flooding them. Let us take some more questions toward the end. I know it may shoot beyond 9 p.m. what we originally planned. I think given the kind of nuggets and the sharp inputs that we are getting, I request all of you to stay for some more time. Of course, quiz is also there. Let me go off the video quickly. Over to you, Abhi. Please proceed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Jakumar sir, for giving me this opportunity. So welcome everyone for this session, connecting the interviews and going in core companies. So my name is Abhilash Satyanarayana. I am working as senior lead engineer in Qualcomm, Hyderabad. So I like to many of the contents were planned, but in the interest of time, I'll try to refine and keep it short so that we also take up the quiz and questions from the audience. So this is the agenda being planned. I'll give a brief introduction about myself, my education and career, and what are my learnings at Emertxe, and why do you join this course? So some kind of discussions around that. What are the secrets to placement at Emertxe? Okay, and once we do this course, how important, or what is the significance of this course in our career? What are the career opportunities after doing this course? Okay, and the other part of the topic is growing in the core company. So once you land up in the job, so how do you how do you work and keep growing in the company, right? And also I like to share some of my experiences with the entry level candidates. Okay, so yeah, my name is Abhilash. So I'm working as senior lead engineer at Qualcomm Hyderabad. I have around 6 years of experience in embedded system. So since I completed my course at Emertxe, my expertise and experience is mostly in the audio domain across different OSs, Linux, Android, and RTOS. I completed my ESEP program, Emertxe Certified Embedded Professional course, from August 2016 to 17. So over a period of 6 to 8 months. Moving on to my education and career. So I completed my bachelor's in electrical and electronics domain from UVC Bangalore, University Visvesvaraya College, Bangalore. So it is affiliated with Bangalore University. So as part of my campus placements, I initially got placed with TCS. So, but I was thinking that being an electrical and electronics candidate, so I should look for something core. So electrical was my interest. So I did not join TCS at that point. Then the later company I joined was Brigade Enterprises Limited. So people who are from Bangalore might be familiar with the Orion Mall or the World Trade Center. So the Brigade group is the one which has built those. So it's basically a construction company. They take up residential and commercial projects. So I joined there as a electrical engineer. So my role there was to work on electrical design, cost estimation, execution. So these were my role there. So I worked there for 1.5 years. Then you can see in this that from 2014 and 2017, so 2017 I landed up in my first job as a software engineer. So it was a big transition from being an electrical engineer working in a construction company to to work in the software industry. So what helped me during this transition is the ESEP program. So from 2000, I'll just take a pause here and explain what was this career gap and what was the help I got from Emertxe. So 2014, I worked there for 1.5 years, and I think in the last session, Jay Kumar sir mentioned that people would get a bug of entrepreneur spirit later in their career. So, but I got that very early. So since I was not enjoying the first job, it was not of my type. I thought of dropping and doing something on my own. So out of many things, I ventured into farming. Completed I was into for some time. It was doing like going well, but due to some unfortunate events, so I had to drop and get back to job. So I tried multiple things. So one thing was clear that I had to get back to job. So I tried multiple things at that point. Being in the electrical domain, I thought, okay, let me do some courses in electrical domain and get back to a job. I didn't want it to join the previous company. So did couple of courses there. I attended interviews as well and got selected in one of the Japanese company. So, but the package was very less. So I think one of the message I think Jaikumar read was people were aspiring for a package of 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs. But in that company, I was offered a salary of nearly 1 lakh. So I was so disappointed. Then I was thinking like what else to do next. Multiple things were on mind. Nothing was working out. So even I thought of, okay, let me take up a master's in Germany. So I joined German language as well, learning the German language. And at that point, I realized that okay, my brother has done a course in Emertxe. So I spoke to him, asked briefly about him, like what is the course about. My main intention was to know whether I get a job after doing this course or not. So for that question, he said that yeah, you do this program after the C programming. Anyway, you would get some of the interviews and you can get a job there. So that was the input from my brother. And then I did not think further. I joined Emertxe at that point. And when I reached to Emertxe faculty, so the main concern is that if you see here, like I am trying, like I joined the course at 2016. I would be finishing the course at 2017. If you look back, I have 3 years of gap from my graduation. So any company, like, why would they shortlist me? Like, they have graduates from 2016, 15, 14. So why would they consider me? So that was the question. So Jai Kumar was handling all the intakes at that time. So I spoke to Jai Kumar sir, um, uh, mentioned my concern. So he told me that we cannot guarantee you any placements, but we can guarantee you some of the interviews, but only if you do the course well. So that was the point from Jai Kumar sir. And I had no options at that point. So I had this fear that, okay, whether I would get a placement in this competitive uh, area. So I had to take up this course really serious. I was on my toes, like every day I used to do coding morning and evening. Spent a good amount of time in the Emertxe Institute as well. So with that, after I think I completed my C programming or data structures, again Jay Kumar and faculties reached out to me. They said that you are doing really well. You don't need to worry about placements. So they were starting something called as Power Track at that time, where they were identifying the top performers from the institutes, and they were allowed only to attend the premium companies. Premium companies, when I say that, they were the salary package was about 4 lakh and above at that point of time. So you just have to complete the course, and after that you will be allowed to only attend such companies, and you get opportunities to get placed there. So that was the option I got from Emertxe, and I was really impressed. I did not bother anything about placements, and completed my course there. And finally, I landed up in this job of from Path Partner Technology. So Path Partner Technology is a core embedded company. It's a small company, like 200 plus headcount. They are into multimedia, middleware developments. They work on audio, video, camera, automotive solutions. So that was my first job there. So I worked there for 3 years. Uh, Worked for a couple of uh, German clients, and I had an opportunity to work with Qualcomm from there. So the overall work at Path Partner was really good. It gave me a very good exposure. And then after 3 years, I moved. I was looking for a job change. I joined a company called Xperi, which owns the DTS Audio. DTS Audio you might have seen in theaters, IMAX theaters. So I worked there for briefly for 1 year and then moved to Qualcomm. So 2021 I joined Qualcomm. So it's been 3 years now in Qualcomm. Here I'm working on all audio technologies, basically on the IoT products, watches, uh, video collab solutions. So these kind of products. So this is my brief about my career. So I would like to emphasize this because, like, many of the aspiring students who reach out to Emertxe have all these questions. So I am doing a career, I am doing a domain switch, I don't know anything about programming. So will I be able to take up this course, or will I be able to get placements? So I think mine is a clear case study for you. So one is 50% of efforts is there from Emertxe to provide all the infrastructure for you to take up the course, and another 50% is on you to take up that course seriously, work, and do your best. So I'd like to end this slide with that note. And I think that should answer many of the questions that would be coming into Jay Kumar sir about domain switches and not knowing about programming, all this. Okay, so these were my learnings at Emertxe. Uh, these were the six subjects I had taken up in Emertxe. So first one was Linux system. So back then, Jay Kumar sir was handling this. It was a very fun-filled lecture, a lot of jokes, discussions, and the main motto of this subject is that you get introduced to logic building. So you don't worry about how to allocate a memory, the syntaxes, all that. You just simply understand what is a loop, what is a if and else, how to build a basic logic. So, and also the introduction to Linux. So basically, whenever we use, let's say, non EC or CS candidates, whenever we use computer, we always use Windows. We are like kind of obsessed with UI, but that doesn't work when you're an embedded system. The command line interface is needed. So as Harsha was iterating, these are the things that are required in an embedded system, right? So we got introduced to that, and that's where I learned basics of programming. And then we moved to programming, C programming, both fundamentals, deep dive. So Mobin sir was handling this, and this particular module was fantastic. um, and then the later was data structure. So back then like our approach to data structure was like, these are algorithms, you just go through them, implement it, and leave. But when I got into work or had to use this, so my approach changed. So what the approach you need to take is to understand why the data structure is needed. Let's say heap or a stack or an array. So why is that needed? Why we go for another data structure? What is that making the difference? What is the performance impact, right? So these things, if you approach it in that way, I think data structure becomes very interesting. And then the one of my favorite subjects is the Linux internals. So Linux internals basically builds on top of all the other modules. You need core programming there, the expertise in the C programming, and data structures like linked list, and then the learnings from all the commands, Linux commands that you learn from Linux system. So Linux, one of the project I took up in Linux system was implementing an application which takes a quiz. Like you might see a web interface today where you create account, login, and you are prompted with multiple choice questions. So similar app has to be developed. And here the challenge was that when you prompt user with a question, you also have to display a timer where it is timing out. Like after 20 seconds, you move to the next question. So I was like kind of stuck blank at this module, like not knowing how to implement this, because only one process can run at a time. So all that was solved in the Linux internals, where we were introduced to parallel programming, multi-threading, synchronizations, and networking concepts. So this is a pretty good subject, and your career would be mostly based on C program and Linux if you are in embedded domain. So you have to give some emphasis to these subjects. And all these four, going to microcontroller, all these four subjects were purely on the software side, not interacting anything with the hardware. So in the microcontroller module, like we were kind of introduced to the hardware. You interface an LCD, keypad, an EEPROM. So that's where I realized that okay, like we were building so much of, like, let's say, big application, big logic that won't work here. You need to use a char instead of an int here. Like memory is so limited, there can be performance impact. So your code has to be so optimized here. So this gives a different experience than all the other subjects, where like my brother Harsha was pointing that mostly general purpose systems you can just go use with this, but where when you get into microcontroller, you need to learn about a lot of the constraints the system is posing, and you need to adapt your programming, you need to adapt your design to that. So with that, I just want to give you a brief introduction to what all I have learned there, and some of the projects, like I explained, Bash application was the one. So here I got exposed to all the Linux commands, the basic scripting, formatting commands like sed cut, which I use even today, even at my work. So this, having some expertise at this module helped me at work. Like you can, sometimes I have a requirement that I have to modify some 100 C files by updating a copyright year. So I can just run one command and replace it. But if you don't know this shell scripting, you might open this in a UI, each of the file, modify the copyright year and save it. So it would be a 1 hour job. So that's where this helps you in uh, like being quick at work. Linux system, you will understand the significance there. And C program, MP3 tag reader, it was like bit manipulation, memory pointers. So whatever you have learned in C programming was like put to use here. Like you have to test all your theoretical knowledge. And some of the wonderful, like, projects in data structure was arithmetic precision calculator. So this, you might, if you use the regular calculator today, you can I think enter a 10 digit number and you can do arithmetic operations. If you go beyond that, the calculator stops with an error. but this calculator which we built can take any number of any digits, let's say 1,000 digits, 10,000 digits. It should be able to make that operation. I mean, addition, division, multiplication. So the linked lists were heavily used. Building the logic, all that was so complex here, and binary search tree was there. So here the approach I took was I started understanding why binary search tree is required. So there was one video which was saying that the air traffic controller, where they have very strict schedule to uh, uh, schedule the flights, right? So there we need a very quick lookup time. We cannot afford any delays there. So there you, if you have to have some that kind of a problem, you prefer binary search tree because it can retrieve data in log n. So these kind of things, like when you start approaching data structure from the application side, the subject becomes interesting. So that is one suggestion I would provide about data structure for all the candidates who are at Emertxe or the interns. And Linux internals, the projects which we did was real-time ones. TFTP, which is like a file transfer protocol. You send files from one device to other device today, but that has to be implemented over a system call in application by ourselves. So a lot of like state machine implementation, and as Harsha mentioned about the tools, right? Wireshark, monitoring the network traffic, all those were like put to use here to debug network traffic. What was the issue? Packet was not transferring. So it was a very good project. And finally, the core of the Linux was this Bash project, where we implemented our own Bash. So you run application, it prompts you, and any command you give, it will execute and give you the output. So the kind of learning that were put to use here was linked list, process handling, and then waiting on a process, concurrency, piping the output from one process to other. So all that, like people sometimes they just understand, they just go take Linux internals as a theoretical subject, but all the concepts you learn, you can implement it over a project. And maybe that is an answer. Like when you implement such projects, you gain mastery over those subjects, and that helps you in getting selected when you're competing with an IIT guy or a person from an IT. So these are the skill sets. If you have, then I think there is no way any company can reject you, right? And yeah, I'm moving to next slide. The primary goal, right? Why do we join Emertxe? So it's for the placement. So once you complete your C module, you obviously you get some applications will be floated for interviews, but I would recommend that you wait until you finish your course, because once you join a company, your career is started, you will not get any time to brush up or to learn some other things that you're missing. So sharpening your axe is more important. That's where, even though you get a job, you get interviews after C, I would recommend you stay for 6 months. So you have a long career to take up. So if you just worry about the 6 months and like hurry up in getting a job, you would maybe regret later that you missed most important part of embedded system learning. So that's where I suggest that um, you stay and complete the course and then take up the job. So that's from this slide. And what are the secrets to placement? Maybe I'll keep this slide very short because I explained all the importance of the projects and assignment in the previous slide. So these assignments are carefully designed from the faculty, that whatever your theoretical learnings, they are exercised here. So that's the significance. So if you practice day in day out, then I think you can master that language. And one good thing about at least when I was doing the course is the fun we had at lab. So we used to have lunch together, have discussions, sharing food, and also discussing the problems. So there was a good bond that was built with our peers. So we really enjoyed doing this. Even mentors were so friendly, so they were supporting us. So it's a really good place where if you are like kind of focused, the way where if you see the IAS or uh, IPS candidates, they focus on a kind of a period of time to get into these services, right? So if you think the ESEP in that way, and you focus your all your energy in these kind of things, assignments, project, and I don't think there is anything that is obstructing you in getting a good job. So projects are also, as I explained earlier, they are like um uh, it's selected very carefully, so that all the topics from, let's say, Linux internals or data structures, those are covered here. So, but if you miss out implementing this project, and let's say you copy from someone else because you have a time constraint to complete a module, or you have an interview to show up that you have completed the project, then you're missing the objective behind that. So I would request that you do not copy projects or assignments for whatever reason. You you implement on your own, and that will definitely give some fruits later. And while you implement the project, focus on the design. Like in C programming, you might be doing some small assignments, but when you go to a project, you need to think differently. I'm writing a function, how modular it is, how scalable it is. Like tomorrow I have to add some functionality, should I have to modify this function? Is the signature very precise? So these kind of things you should do when you work on this project. And when you think from this direction, explaining these projects while you are in an interview, it's like a very simple thing. You can do it very easily. And the rest of the things are taken care by MSc faculty, your mock interviews, interview preparation materials. So if you follow that, I think placements is easy. So significance of this course in your career, I would say the syllabus is very carefully designed to match the today's expectations from the companies, and each module builds on top of other. So if you move to, let's say, Linux internals, you also exercise C programming. If you do C programming, you need that logic that was built in C module. So that relation is there, and you can connect these dots and have a big picture by the end of the course. And there is equal importance to theoretical and practical sessions. So at least when I was doing the course, half of the day was theoretical and half was practical, so we were enjoying both of the sessions. So with all this structured learning, what you get is a strong fundamental. So once you land in a job, what your manager, leads, or anyone would expect you is you have all the skill sets to do the task they are assigning. Maybe it is designing, implementation, or anything as such. So now once you do all this at Emertxe, you have got the right skill sets, right? And let's say you are asked to solve a complex problem. Since your fundamentals are strong, your debugging skills are very good, your analytical skills are very good, you take a different approach and you can solve it at ease. So that's how you are like kind of standing out from the crowd. And whether when I say crowd, it can be a fresh grad from the college, or it can be a student from NIT, or it can be a student from IIT. So this is what the like kind of differentiating factor, right? So strong fundamentals is the key. And once you stand out from the crowd, it is obvious that you get good appraisals, hike, and a quick growth, right? So like, as there was one question to Jaykumar sir, that like whether we will be able to get this package. So obviously that's possible. Like the moment you start performing in the company, initially you might not get that salary, but uh, initially you might not get the salary, but with 1 or 2 years, definitely you can reach a very good number. So when I started, for an example, when I started my MSc, let's say my salary was X, so today it is like kind of increased by 12 13 folds. So I'm just giving in that comparison. So it's possible. So career opportunities, right? So there were questions around this. What is that one needs to do while taking up career opportunities? I did not base this slide with respect to domain or the current requirement. I am giving some kind of general considerations when you look for opportunities from MSc. So one is like, okay, so you have an option that you have a fancy package of 30 lakhs, and the other one is a like kind of a credible company, you know that okay, they're doing good work. So fancy package, I know the financial aspect is good, you make money, but let's say once you join there, if the work is not interesting, then you will start losing the interest there. So even though you get all that, the facilities, the package that you need, you will not enjoy and finally end up kind of being low or low self-esteem. So those kind of things can happen. But when you look for a credible company, you research about it, you know what they're doing, then you be on their side. I think that definitely it might not give you a short-term gain there, but it would build your career. Similarly, like there is a similar topic, like starting with a small or a big corporates. So small companies, what happens is, the way like I work with part contact technology, like they are small, they have limited resources. You don't have a definite role. Today you might be a developer, tomorrow like you are a tester there. So the roles are very dynamic. You are asked to assume different roles. This is a very hypothetical comparison, developer versus tester, but I'm just giving an example. So your roles are not defined. You can work in application development, middleware. So that keeps changing. So the trade-off with that is it's frustrating at times, saying that okay, I'm getting more work. The workload is more. It's like kind of I'm slogging. So these kind of things. But at the point, you need to understand that if it is at the early stage of your career, it is helping you in gaining a knowledge. It is putting you in fast track mode. And the advantage with the big corporate is that they have a lot of funding. They take up the projects on new technologies, big projects. So this is also interesting. I don't say that the big companies are bad. So starting with small will really help. And with big companies, there are a lot of they need to take a lot of approvals. There are a lot of procedures are involved. So even to make a small work, there would be a lot of things that are required. So it's a trade-off between small and big. But either of this, if you start, you will. I think it is okay. And choosing a domain, this again, like once you complete your ESAP, you have companies develop firmware, networking, um, middleware, software development, application development, who are into IoT. So this one thing is to consider that what the company is doing, how good it is, what level of work they do. And second thing is to reflect on yourself and understand, do I have the required skill set? Do I enjoy this work? Let's say for firmware development, you should be really good at microcontroller, C programming, those aspects, right? So that is what you should reflect on yourself and check. Okay, do I have the required skill set? Do I enjoy doing this kind of work, or do I enjoy doing a Linux application development at a top level, working on big architectures? So this is also one factor you need to consider. Let's say you don't have idea, you talk to Emergze mentors, you talk to people who are in industry, you reach out to them or LinkedIn. It's easy to get resources these days. So this is one point to consider. So first, company is very important, so make a wise choice while joining that company. And one of the point aspects I did not capture here is about bonds. So some of the companies keep a bond these days. So why do they keep bond? Is because they hire from a diverse set of area, let's say from college grads, from trained resources, and also they might have a specific technology they work on. So they need to invest on that to train you guys to put you on field. So they, if a person who is trained and he leaves immediately, it's a loss for them. So considering that, they keep bond. But there is also a case that a person who joins a company with a bond, he might not like the job, and he's like kind of frustrated. So when you make decisions to join a company, you evaluate that. You be aware that okay, I'm signing a bond for 2 years, and that you are aware. So after joining a company and you know that you're not enjoying the work, so you should not get in a mode where you're like very low, because you are aware the company had bond and you joined it. So you complete for another year and then you leave it, or you also have the option to break the bond and go out. So these are the things I see. Like most of the juniors are like very stressed when they get into companies with bonds. But you have options while choosing the company. So it's your call. Once you join the company, you have taken the call and you have to abide by that, or you can break the bond and go outside. So consequences are there on both the sides. So that is one point while you choose the company. I think I have another 4 slides, so let me try to cover quickly. So this is the other.
Little bit your voice is breaking. Can you just check maybe?
Is it fine now?
Yeah, better. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think it's a problem with the mic. Okay, I have another 4 slides to cover. I'm kind of rushing just to keep up with the time, and we take up the quiz and other part of the program. So please feel free to stop me. Like, Jikuma sir, you want to take any questions now?
Proceed and finish. Abhi, there are many questions have come. Probably, we can take it towards the end. Both Harsha and you can answer them. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So the other part of the presentation was how do we get a job and in that area. But now once you land in the job, so what it takes to be on top, right? So one thing is on the job learning. So whatever you learn at Emertxe is your fundamentals, right? Now the fundamentals are used once you join a company, and you have to do the work for a particular domain. Let's say when I joined Pathpreneur, I had to adapt to audio technology. So all these things, what I learned on programming, let's say C programming, all the were useful, but I have to learn the technology which is related to the domain. So on the job learning is very much important. You need to give significant time to this. And let's say at some point of your career, let's say you feel that okay, I need to learn more. I need to attend courses or do some self learning. So you need to realize that and take additional courses. So in 2019, I took up again the device driver course in Emertxe and also Python programming from an online institute. So these kind of things you need to keep doing for your growth once you join a company, and learning new tools. Let's say for development, debugging. These are all very important today in embedded system. Like they are, since they are very resource constrained systems, debugging them is challenging. So you like how you debug that is really important. So you need to give importance to learning these new techniques as well. And one thing which is outside of any curriculum would be your communications. I think Harsha has given emphasis on this. But I would like to say that verbal communications, when I say once you join a company, you need to talk to your manager. You need to talk to a different team to know some information with your teammates, right? So having a very good verbal communication, being humble, polite, uh, kind of having a great collaboration will definitely help in the company. And also one thing which is completely overlooked by the engineers is the written communication. So you might be writing super code, okay, but you are not able to explain that to your peer who is reviewing the code, or to your manager, right? That's a pretty bad situation. So I think Harsha was mentioning this, that you should be able to explain in a simple words what you're doing. So this kind of very basic communication is needed. You have to add comments to your code whenever you want to develop a feature. A design document is needed. Day in day out you need to write emails to others. So if you don't give importance to this, then you will not stand out in the crowd, right? Anybody can code, but all these things will make a difference in the team. So managers look for these aspects, that how well you collaborate with the guys, how easily you convey your problems, right? And how efficiently you document things. So this is one important aspect, whether any company, not just core company, any company. And one question was, I think during the previous session, was that I have moved from a testing domain to a developer now. So will my experience count? So practically the experience which was there in testing might not count. In my case, my experience as an electrical engineer was not counted when I joined my software job. So all that 1.5 years is lost. But the skill sets that I have learned over there, mainly I was working on Excel, PowerPoint, all that is put to use today, right? So some of, like, while debugging some of the timestamp issues in the audio processing, we still, like, today we use Excel to filter out the timestamp and see where, like, use some analytics and find out where was the drop, all that. and any design document, you can do it better. So all my skill set which was there from my previous job, it is helping me now to do it in a better way. So practically the experience is not counted, but you will have a takeaway from your previous job. So that is how you should consider the domain switches. And coming to the performance aspects, analytical skills, how you debug a issue, how proactively you take up something, you know that you are aware that some problem is there, how proactively you approach, you take up that, and being responsible, right? So once a task is assigned to you, you be responsible for that. Don't wait for someone to follow up that when are you providing this details, when are you closing this. So that kind of follow up you try to avoid from your side. And delivering each task, let's say your task is assigned, delivering the task on time every time. So if you follow this, I think you don't have to worry about your appraisals or hike in the company and worry about your salary. And also, as you grow up the ladder, you also need to demonstrate leadership skills, how you take the team together, how you address problems. So those kind of things are important. So this is kind of a reference for you, like once you land up in your job, like keep these in mind and focus on this, so that your career will progress. So this is one analogy I just wanted to give regarding the career growth. So let's say like anybody would land up in the core companies, right? So let's assume that a guy from a tier two company, so a tier two college has joined a core company. So you, as you might be aware, like everybody would agree to this, that during our engineering times, we don't give any emphasis on any of your skill set, right, that are required for the job. So with that, what happens when you land up in a job, you are asked to do something, you will have very less confidence. You don't have the skill sets. So what happens? Your performance is kind of very low, or it's kind of stagnant, and you get stressed because of that. All this is happening because you don't have the required skill sets that are required for the job, right? So that is where I want to like indicate that if you don't have the skill sets, right, you end up, you, even though you get a placement from your college or you end up in a very good company, you can be on this red line. It is risky, right? The second thing is that uh, the green line, let me take an example of green line, where you take up the course, or even let's say you don't take up a course, you are from a very good college, you are enthusiastic to learn about embedded system, you do self learning, you know, you are aware of what is needed and you upskill yourself continuously. So that is where you progress in this path, right? Over time, your career growth, you can see that it is growing continuously. So this particular person is aware of what is needed as per the industry, and he is upskilling himself, and he is uh, keeping up with that. So you have a very good growth there. And then the LO1 is, you might have done the course, but just to get a job, not really kind of put your efforts there. Or let's say you have joined from a very good college with some good engineering expertise, but you're not meeting the skill sets that are required for a company. So you start with low, but then you realize that okay, this is the problem, and you try to correct, right, by attending courses or whatever that takes to correct that. You make that corrections, and again you can go back to the same point in your careers. So the correction in your career is possible at any point. So I just want to give that notion here. Okay, so it's your call to be on the green line, or be aware and be on the yellow line, or let's say give up and be on the red line. This is, I think I have one more last slide after this. So entry level interview experience. I have taken multiple interviews. So this is what I see from entry level engineers. One is the, what we look for is the programming expertise, right? Because that is what is needed at work. Whether you do the course or you don't, you haven't done the course, we have to develop a feature. The skill set is needed, so no excuses, right? So programming expertise is what we look for. But when I see the resumes will have like 2 to 3 pages with all the projects, all big things. but when you ask to code, like very poor programming skills. So this is something which is very bad. Programming expertise, especially if you are doing the SEP course, you are expected to perform, and you have all the required infrastructure there. So it is just that your interest that is required, right? And unable to, let's say, one example is that I usually start my interview with a basic question like, can you write a program as a simple function to reverse the string? So I see most of the candidates fail there. So a string reverse is a very basic assignment or a basic problem in C, right? So I see most of the people cannot write this function. And next thing, let's say if they are able to answer, you just twist the question. Now, like, they are blank. So for an example, uh, there is a function which will, let's say, you pass a string to the function, it will replace the particular character. You pass the string and the index of the character, it will replace the character, right? So this is the function. So I ask the candidate to write, they will implement cleanly, it will work. Let's say table is the input, it has to be replaced to cable. So this kind of simple function. So now the moment they implement this, and I ask them that, can you, the input which you're passing, can you make it as a string literal? Okay, so they make it as a string literal, and if I ask, does it work, I get the immediate answer that yeah, it will work. But string literal is something that would be in the read only region, that would trigger a, you cannot modify, right? So it would trigger a crash. So if you just have a minor twist in the questions, people are not able to answer. So what is the problem, like why, we need to understand like why we are unable to answer this question. So mostly the reasoning is this, that while you take up the subjects or courses at Emertxe, you try to memorize things, or because it is complex, or you're not able to understand, you try to memorize things. But memorizing things is only for short times. You can crack one interview or second, but once you'll end up in job, you cannot get away with this, right? You need to have all the technical reasoning when a problem is posed to you. One example is like, I asked a candidate to write a simple function to swap two variables. So the function was neat. So two variables, address of two variables was passed. I asked, why are we taking pointer here? Why can't it be just value? So he said, no, value will not work. It has to be address. My question is, why address is needed? So he just say that it is not going to work. So I don't get the technical reasoning when we ask such questions, right? So emphasize on technical reasoning, why you are doing that, or why a particular construct is there, programming construct is there, right? Why a particular design is there. So this is very important in your interview. And the last thing is confidence. So if you have done the course well, or if you have all the skill sets, you confidently attempt to a question that can impress the interviewer, and also might avoid further questions from the interview, and uh, kind of increases the chances of clearing the interview, right? So confidence is the key. You have to confidently attempt the questions. Um, but you also need to be aware that you need not be overconfident there. Being humble and polite is always required. So one instance I would like to share is, I asked the same question, string reverse, to a guy. So he implemented that. And then while he implemented that, he used size of operator to find the length of the string. So my question was, will the size of operator work on a char pointer to get the string? The answer was yes, obviously it works. So then I asked, can you show me how it works? So he passed an input. He wrote a test tab on top of that, passed an input. He said, I'm passing this string. This is printing the length of the string. So it was printing 8 characters. And I asked, what is the input? He passed his name. His name was Sai Kumar. So coincidentally, it was 8 characters. So I asked him to change the input to Sai Kumar, some 1 2 3. It broke. So if you fail at this level in an interview, there would be no other questions asked, right? These are very basic things. Using a size of on a pointer would give you 8 bytes or 4 bytes, depending on the architecture. It will not give you the string length. So these are the things you need to be kind of emphasizing on, keeping the basics strong, not making mistakes at basics. So yeah, this is the last slide. I just want to summarize that the finishing schools like Emertxe or similar ones, right? They play a very great role in making you industry ready. Like post your graduations, you might not have the skill sets, you can acquire all of them here, right? And also, company prefers to hire from these kind of institutes. The reason being they don't have to train the candidates, and they know that people are equipped well. They have all the arms ready, right? So this is what companies prefer. They can get better outcome from the candidates, right? So the advantage for you is that let's say you have completed 4 years of engineering, whatever you are not able to acquire in 4 years of engineering related to operating system programming, all that you can just focus and get it in 6 months. Only if you focus, right? And having all that skills definitely help you at work, boost your confidence. So my main point is that you have to take this course very seriously. Don't just join and say that okay, 6 months would be completed, some interview will come and I'll join the course, I'll join the company. So finally you would end up kind of not performing in the company. So take this course seriously, and definitely you will see a sharp curve in your growth. So with that note, I would like to uh, end this presentation. um, yeah, and thanks to all the Emertxe staffs for the great support for this presentation. And back then, when I was doing the course there, special thanks to Jai Kumar sir, Mobin sir, Biju, Adil, and Master. So Jaikumar was handling Linux system at that time. Mubin was taking C programming and Linux internals. So our entire career is based on these two subjects. So Mubin made it very interesting. Biju was handling data structure. Adil was for microcontroller, and Mas for all the kind of requirements, how the course is doing well or not. So he's taking care of all that aspects. So I'm really thankful to Emertxe for giving me the opportunity, and also providing this the course for me to land up in the software job. So I'd like to conclude, and Jacob, sir, over to you.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Abhi, and thank you, Harsha, for sharing your valuable inputs. Maybe what we'll do now is, I think, we kind of, overshot a little bit. That's fine, absolutely. Given that, that's why I didn't want to stop you guys. The kind of, insights that you're able to give to the student is quite valuable to all of them. So let me maybe take a couple of questions and then we'll move to the quiz. Hope I am audible to all of you guys. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay, because one of the student is telling not audible. Okay, great. So let me take a couple of questions, and many have come. In the interest of time, we'll keep it to two. Let me go up. Yeah, there's one question from Rishi Joshi. Rishi is asking, after my BE, should I go for job or should I complete MTech and go for the job? It's a question about higher studies. Harsha, Abhi, yeah, Abhi, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Harsha, you want me to take up that?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Yeah. So, should I take up engineering or MTech? At least from my industry experience, what I see is people who are taking up engineering or MTech, they are landing up in the same job. So not significant difference in terms of work they do, but significant if you go to some kind of um, courses, yeah, it really differs. but let's say the regular ones, you would end up in the same job. I would suggest rather you what company looks at is having the skill sets that are required for the for the company, right? So you do MTech, you spend some time for Gate, and then you do MTech for 2 years, and then you are a fresher now. So at that point, there are already BTech graduates. They are ahead of time and they are performing. So at least from my perspective, I feel that you can take up join finishing school like Emertxe, get the industry experience. You work for 2 to 3 years, and then you can take up. Let's say you are interested to do MTech. And that gives a different perspective as well. The moment you join MTech and you have an industry experience, it adds on. So this is what my perspective about this question.
Great. Hope it's answered, Rishi. Okay. So there's a question. I think Harsha can answer this. How to apply for Robonoid?
Yeah, I'm glad that people are asking about it. Yeah, we do have our career page. You can write. There is a info mail regarding that. You can just send out your resume. But I would be happy to, like, if it comes through Emertxe, like we do have regular, probably quarterly or semi-annual basis. We do have openings coming up. So we definitely get in touch with placements coordinators at Emertxe, and we do seek out for resumes. So irrespective of that, I definitely you can look out for a career page on our website and then drop your resumes.
Great. So go to career page and do that. Okay. Last one maybe, since it is little programming oriented. Says C language. Should I practice in HackerRank or Lead Code? Which is better? I think these coding platforms have become very popular these days. There's a question: should I go with HackerRank or Lead Code?
I would say it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter as long as you know how to solve the problem.
Right.
So maybe some of the companies prefer certain platforms while they take up the first round of written test. But any assignments at Emertxe would help you to solve all kind of problems. So it doesn't matter. You can take up either of this, and that's the answer.
Great, fantastic. I think we'll pause here with Q&A in the interest of time. So thank you very much, Harsha and Abhi, for taking your valuable time. And there is some technical glitch today. They could not come in camera because some questions also come here. In fact, my team in my phone, they're pinging and said, "Why only you are coming? Why not Abhilash and Harsha?" There's a technical glitch today. This GoToWebinar tool somehow we tested in the afternoon, and they could not come in video, and it would have been even better. But nevertheless, as I said, the content and the relevance to you guys is what matters. So thank you very much, Harsha. I know when I just reached out to them, they were very glad, and they said, it's something like our way of giving back to students and the community what we are building through Emertxe. Thank you very much for your time. So folks who are attending the webinar, some of you joined late, they're asking, will I send the PPT? Will you share this particular video recorded? Yes, this video we will record. Little bit of editing we'll do, and then the PPT, whatever is shared by both Abhi and Harsha, we will attach it. And some of them registered and did not make it, that's fine. So we'll email to all of you, and we email this particular thing. We want to do YouTube live again. There was a glitch today. We'll try to figure it out. As I said, we're launching the season 3 after a long period of time. There have been some couple of technical glitches today, which our team will take it up and work on. But nevertheless, we'll put it again in the YouTube, and then we'll share the link. Whomever you feel your friends or somebody in your family will be helpful. So feel free to share to them, right? So that's about the talk. So moving on, other part that to keep it motivated, we promised about the quiz. There is a link there and the quiz code there. Do not worry about the link. Anyways, I'll just upload once again. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. I'll uploading. I'm uploading an image there in case. If you guys just look into the right side, there is a handout section. You can download the same screenshot I uploaded there. If not, at least take the screenshot of this, because as I said in the beginning, you guys need to put this particular quiz code, because we don't want anybody to misuse, and then attempt this quiz and try to get benefit, right? This for people, you guys have put an effort. It's on Saturday around 9:30. You've been so eager, so we want to benefit to you guys. So ensure that you mention this particular quiz code as it is. It is case sensitive. It's caps and numbers. Please ensure you mention the same way. In case you're not able to note down the form or there's some issue, don't worry. Again, our team will email you this particular link once again, because we're not going to start it. If you can access it today, that's fine. We still keep it open till Monday or Tuesday next week. Then you can take it up and submit, right? Once and all the questions will be based on whatever was shared by our speakers today. They themselves have shared their questions. So as long as you have attempted this, attended their session carefully, you should be able to get score well. And of course, some good exciting goodies are awaiting for all of you, all the winners. Our team will pick the winners. So next week you will see all the items, whatever I mentioned. The recorded videos, PPTs will reach you. The quiz winners will reach you, and then also the goodies will start shipping. And also all the participants will get certificates to the email ID which you have already registered. Okay, so that's about the quiz part of it. Moving on, a couple of other things from Team Emertxe. One is like we have started a Telegram community for this particular webinar. Whoever is attending the masterclass webinar, we are thinking, we're not spoken to our speakers yet. If possible, they can be part of this particular group, and then they can engage with you in some more. Again, you need to be careful about their privacy. Anyways, Telegram gives you good privacy, but it should not be spammy. But nevertheless, we started building a community. Even if you're Emertxe student, intern, we're building this exclusive community for the masterclass participants. Here's a QR code, and there's a stamp there. And my team is also thinking, if you collect more stamps, we are planning some more surprise goodies. If you're attending regularly the subsequent webinars, so there's a QR code there. Please scan and subscribe. For the particular Telegram channel. And last but not the least, our social media. Hope we are all there following us. In case you're not following us, we are active in both LinkedIn as well as in Instagram. Again, these days it's a world of QR code. Earlier I used to share links, but it's again a world of QR code. So please go ahead and what do they share, subscribe, like, share, and subscribe, whatever they say, right? Let us stay connected. We are in MG Road, and in case you want to try, whether you're a student, intern, just want to say hi to us, you're most welcome. Okay. So that's it, guys. And we are proceeding towards the end of the today's webinar. So thank you very much once again. May I request all the participants to share quick feedback about today's session, so that I can read out for our speakers. How did you find today's session? Was it helpful? Did it give you better clarity? Did it motivate you? Okay, whatever comes in your mind. So Saujanya is telling informative. Dilip Prasad is telling good. Durga is telling coupon codes for the course. No, it's for the quiz. It's for the quiz winners, right? Please come back to the Telegram QR. Okay, let me come back to the QR of Telegram. Yeah, let me put it up. Okay. So very helpful, says Sanjay. Useful, says Manjunath. Link is not available. It's there. I uploaded in the in the handout section. No worries. We'll send it once again to all of you. We will send it out. No worries. Okay. Link not available. We'll send it to you. Don't worry about the link. Only note down the QR code. Sorry, the coupon code. Okay. Excellent session, says Sairam. Gives idea about what to do, says Purandar. Very useful, says Prasanna. Very informative, says Siva Subramanian. Informative and inspiring, says Jason. Great session, thanks to both legends, says Durga. Very helpful, again, says Durga. Very useful for interview aspects, says David Kumar. It was very good interactive session. Thank you so much, says Neha. It was my first masterclass about interview. Amazing, very useful, says Hariharan. Very informative, fruitful. Oh my God, this is like floating. I'm not able to read. It's thank you very much. A great word for all of you. For our speakers. I think this will inspire them, to come back. Probably, we can have more sessions as we move forward. A lot of message coming, fascinating, had a great time, very good and informative. Thank you to three of you. Very useful session. Keep such session monthly. Yes, we are planning. We will run through these sessions regularly. Monthly, I'm not sure. At least once in 2 months, definitely. Right. So amazing, says Madhura. Great session, says Rishi again. Hope I'll get a good job like this. Legends. Yes, you will. Very useful, says Ketan. And then yeah, lot of such messages. So thank you very much, guys. Last but not the least, from my side, I would like to thank, along with our speakers, of course, they spend valuable time. I want to thank my team at Emertxe, who have been in the back end. Many of you do not know, they're spending a lot of time in setting this up, interacting with our speakers, setting this particular, webinar up, mailing you guys, and not only that, they're going to, subsequently put efforts in terms of shortlisting, picking up the winners, and setting you the certificates, editing the videos. Tons of efforts goes from Team Emertxe side, so on behalf of Team Emertxe, my side, I want to thank my team who has been instrumental in setting this up. I just come and do this talk and go away, right? A lot of background work they do, and they also do the next week also. Okay, so thank you very much once again to our speakers. It was a great, motivating session. I don't need to say anything much. I think the session itself was overwhelming. So thank you very much for your valuable time, Harsha and Abhi, and all the participants, right? You guys rocked today, right? From the beginning towards the end, I saw there's a very little drop of attention. I get all the statistics here, by the way, right? Very little attention drop. All of you very eager, very curious, right? We're looking into it, right? So that's what it's all about. So quiz, as I already said, the code is updated. If you guys want, let me flash once again. Yeah. Okay, I think let me give. Okay, so yeah. So main thing is, please take down this particular quiz code, right? The form, in case if it doesn't open, don't worry, we'll email you. But it's important that you guys attempt the code properly. Okay, in whatever is there, S3W1, there's a code word there. You guys need to put it in the right way. Okay, so you can attend the quiz anytime. In case if you have the link access now, you can take. Some of you don't have, some of you find it difficult. We keep it till at least till Monday, Tuesday. Today is Saturday anyways, right? Tomorrow my team is on leave. Till Monday, Tuesday we'll keep it open, and subsequently later next week we will work on all the closure items. Okay, so thank you once again, all of you. I know it's not easy to sit on a Saturday night so late till almost 9:30. So take care. Special thanks to our speakers once again, and also my team at Emertxe. And student, wish you all the very best. Hope to see you in the next edition of the masterclass webinar. Take care. Bye.